Viene de visita desde Inglaterra, que ha sido multipremiada. Tenemos la oportunidad de platicar con Mumford and Sons. First of all, thank you very much for your time in this interview. How do you feel being here in Mexico?
Feeling great. Feeling like I'm not entirely sure what you're saying a lot of the time.
Now, talking, it was probably a year after the release of your last album. Tell us a little bit the adventure of the caring process, the biggest lesson that this album has given you so far.
I think every album is like a little journey of its own. So really the best part is just growing the set. Now when we do a live show like tonight, there's a lot of different ingredients in there. So I don't know quite what we've learned. I think we're learning a lot of things all of the time. But yeah, it's been a really interesting year. And we get to go to places we haven't been before. So we're just in South Africa, and this is obviously our first time here in Mexico. So it's a very exciting little chapter at the moment.
Now, it was on purpose, or it was naturally at the creating process that you decide to start using more guitars and less banjos for this last album?
I think we just want to keep on being true to ourselves and what sort of music we want to make at any given time. It wasn't about trying to not be who we were in 2008 when we were writing Sun and War. It was about trying to figure out who we are and what does like the four of us sound like now, and that's what this is. And I don't know whether, I can pretty much guarantee that in 8 years' time we're gonna sound very different. We just never want to be a kind of one thing. If you think about yourself, 8 years ago it was a different man to it is now. And,
kind of a little more hair.
So
I know.
Story.
And I think that it's always important to go out of the comfort zone, even if you have a lot of words in that kind of music that you like move on.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge.
It is a challenge, yeah. And we didn't want to freak anyone out, but I think the first two albums, they do sit together quite nicely, because we didn't stop in that time. When we started touring in 2007, wrote the album, sang more, and it just continued all the way through Baby. We never stopped. And so with Wild of Mine, we were really keen just to stop and be a little bit more intentional, develop and explore sounds more. So we're really pleased we had the opportunity to do that. And moving forward, the fourth album, we'll make sure we do it again. We want time to explore and to evolve.
Cool. Now I'm gonna ask you about two different moments in your career and tell me your experience about your perception. The first one, it's obviously 2011 Grammy night playing with Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
How was it?
Very surreal. The moment itself, I don't really remember very well because the lights are on, the cameras are on. You're so nervous, and it just goes by in a flash. But the weirder thing was the day before we were in a rehearsal, and that was the moment where the kind of craziness really sunk in when you're in a room and Dylan's there and you're kind of working out one of his songs. It was definitely a moment where things started to get more bizarre.
And how is he? He's a character. He's
he's been Bob Dylan for many decades now, and every room he walks into, it's oh my God, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
So I think he has become, he's quite shy, but really very, very sweet. I just feel so bad because on the Grammys performance, I don't know how, but in the rehearsal, I left my double bass instrument across the stage, and when the curtain opened and we walked out, he sort of had to climb over it to get to his microphone. So that was embarrassing. But he's very memorable.
Now another night, Grammy night 2013, winning the Album of the Year with Babel.
Yes. I think we were definitely the outsiders to the nomination. We'd been nominated a few times for different awards at the Grammys, but that was kind of the one that was the least expected prize, I guess, and it really opened up a lot of things for us. I think that on the evening it felt like a huge victory for a lot of people, not just for the four of us, but for a lot of people who work really hard all the time, people never get to see. and I think that's really what's kind of nice about those awards, is it does kind of give, you know, the record labels and the management and all those people who do a lot of work and never really get talked about. It actually is kind of a celebration for them. For us, like coming to Mexico and playing to 10,000 or so people is a much bigger award than a Grammy award. It really like is a much bigger kind of achievement for us because there's real people and it's us, and it's, you know, there's a real connection there. But yeah, I guess we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those sort of TV shows happening and kind of opening up the doors for us. So cool.
Now I was reading your webpage, and the front news is about an issue about ticket touts. Tell us a little bit the issue and how much have you improved in that thing since you released that.
Yeah, we've been putting a lot of work into this. It's kind of a problem that's been around for years, but something that we decided to do something about recently. Essentially, everyone knows that, you know, you go to buy a ticket to a show, and within moments it's already kind of available on a second ticket market. So it's not like fans are just trying to find. It's not as if like all of a sudden they couldn't get a babysitter and they're trying to resell their tickets. There's people actually out there who are profiting in a business, like in a kind of an illegal business of reselling tickets. And so what we're trying to do is just try and get the artistic community to rally and say we don't want this to happen anymore. It's not fair on the artists, it's not fair on the fans. So yeah, it's a big struggle because ultimately you're fighting against criminals and you're fighting against big corporations, and it's like these things are really hard things to navigate, but if we don't try, then I don't know who will.
Well, now you just announced also that you're gonna play at the Barclays British Summertime, and you choose different friends. I'm gonna ask you about them and tell me your experience. Start with Wolf Alice.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a new friend, I suppose.
You don't know them?
Not personally. Do you know
No.
those guys? Yeah. They're like the only band. Like, so we have a thing a lot of the time when we tour. So tonight we have Willie Mason, who has played our stopovers, which are festivals we create, and we've toured together a lot actually. And it's usually the case. We like to take people with us, and then we realised our world was kind of becoming really small. You know, we're like with the same people all the time. So Wolf Alice is one of the artists that we would love the music of. We've heard it, and we'll be meeting them for the first time on the day.
Cool. The other one, a Grammy winners, Alabama Shakes.
Alabama Shakes, yeah. So we have had a few different interactions with them. We did a tribute to Levon Helm on the Grammys a couple of years ago, and we did that with them. That was a really fun moment. Brittany's an amazing character and a great woman, and the band's just fantastic. So we've done lots of shows all over with them. Last summer we did a place in Seaside Heights in New Jersey, another one of these festivals that Ted was talking about, that we curate. And it just felt like we hadn't done anything with them in the UK, so we wanted to host them in our country, and so we're flying them over from their hometown, and they're going to come experience London kind of on our terms, and then have a big celebration. I mean, it's such a nice thing to be able to invite all of these bands. I think there's like 12 acts playing in total, and it's just nice to be able to share in that.
Have you remembered them all?
Yeah. No, not everyone, but yeah.
Do you know the Mystery Jets?
The Mystery Jets, yeah. They've been here many times.
Yeah, they're one of my favourite bands. And
awesome.
Before I joined Mumford and Sons, my old band, we used to tour the Mystery Jets in like 2005, 2006, and we used to do shows to like 6-7 people. They're like some of my best friends, and every album they make I love so much. So it's so nice, you know. The Hyde Park show, July 8th, will be for us, you know, one of the biggest shows, home turf, you know, and to share that journey with those guys. You know, we used to play in these tiny clubs when everyone was still smoking and
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Talking about those times, I read that before Mumford & Sons, some of you played for Laura Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
What was the most important thing that you learned about that time?
Laura was like a real big part of our sort of coming together in a way, because Marcus got me the gig, so our singer Marcus got me the gig playing bass for her, and everyone was kind of moving around in these circles, and Mumford & Sons was formed from a group of people who were backing up lots of different songwriters, Laura Marling being one of a few. But she has just been a really big part of our lives. We've played on her records, and obviously we're still really great friends, and yeah, we live nearby each other in London, so I can still get to see her a lot. But yeah, I mean, she taught us a lot. She just taught us the importance of writing good songs, really, and just really crafting music, which we keep.
Now, we're a music channel, so I'm going to ask you about videos. Tell me what you remember about it. Start with the cave.
It was hot. we were in India, and
Oh, you were in India?
yeah, and Ted chose to get a different colour seat to everyone else. That's what I remember about that video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The other one did must.
Ditmas, that's the horsey one, right?
it was in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh, in Ukraine.
Ukraine,
that's
yeah.
in
How do you
Ukraine.
choose the places to shoot a video?
I don't really know.
So why not?
You should do something here in Mexico.
We should,
Yeah.
and it's been discussed.
Really?
It has been
Yeah, we
discussed,
very
yeah.
nearly did our next video, which I don't think we're actually going to do any video now, but we very nearly planned to do a video, which I'll tell you about when the camera's off.
So you're not gonna do any more videos?
Probably not this year, but we were planning on doing another one this year, which was based in Mexico. So
Hopefully, crossing fingers.
yeah,
Cross the
maybe
fingers.
next album now. Maybe next album.
Now, the thing that I admire about you is that you play in such a huge venues, but you also play in small venues. Tell me what you like most about each one of them.
I think it's they're two quite different things, and we've been very lucky that when we started, we obviously started in pubs and rooms like this big, and it's grown and grown and grown. Now we play some really big places, but I think by going back and occasionally we get to play a smaller place, and it feels like a treat. It feels like a novelty, and it's interesting. And then you go back to the big room, and then that feels like a treat, and that's interesting. So to have some kind of to have a bit of contrast keeps the road interesting, because otherwise,
Now, the last question: do you think that after so many years, the internet helped or hurt music?
I think for us it's helped, because I think we were just lucky enough to kind of be on the end when we first came out. Yeah, we are. Yeah, because we've been around for 9 years now. So it wasn't quite on the scale that it is now. I think it's pretty hard now to be a brand new artist, to be honest. And as long as people still buy tickets to shows and remember that the music that they're hearing actually is people, and they have lives and they have families, and that, as long as everyone remembers that and has some sort of responsibility, I think it's fine. The internet is a tool, and it's never going to go away. We just need to make sure we look after artists moving forward.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, all you have to do with Mumford & Sons. Great, and good luck for what's next. I know it's going to be great.
Thank you.
And well, I hope you enjoy Mexico.
We will.
Ya lo vieron,
Thank you so
Mumford
much.
& Sons. Vamos a continuar.